And if you don't understand that about reading the New Testament epistles, then a lot of the conversation flies over your head. You don't really get what's going on. Okay. So Paul, who is more and more becoming an ambassador to the Gentiles, don't understand that about reading the New Testament epistles, then a lot of the conversation flies over your head. You don't really get what's going on. Okay. So Paul, who is more and more becoming an ambassador to the Gentile, when I start to talk about the lens through which they see faith, there's a couple of things that I want to interject here that I think is important for you to consider. First of all, there is the blood lineage that flows through the Hebrew people, later called the Jews, that goes all the way back to Abraham. Abraham is the father of the faith, but he's also the father of the faith. Three different religions claim him to be the patriarch of their faith: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. So it all goes back to Abraham. It all starts with Abraham from a lineage perspective. When it comes to a nation, a nationality of people, it starts at Mount Sinai, and I'm going to deal with that later in a minute. But so far as bloodline is concerned, I want to just deviate for a minute and show you the mystery that God interjects here that gives us a sneak preview of what God has in store and what God is going to do. And I think there's some things here that are going to be important for you to understand. First is who was Abraham? Okay. If you read in Genesis 11, 27 through 30.
Who in the hell was that white guy TD Jake just put up on the screen? Who in the hell was that? See, they do things without doing it. Meaning what? They put subliminals out there. They're going to put an old white man, an Edomite, up on the screen and talk about Abraham. TD Jake, Thomas Dexter, you ain't fooling nobody. You might fool them clowns in your congregation, but you ain't fooling the elect of God.
It says this, and this is a NIV version. This is the account of Terah's family line. Terah became the father of Abraham. So Terah is Abraham's father. So it starts not talking about Abraham, but talking about his father Terah. Terah became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Remember now that Abram does not become Abraham until later in the story. Same person, God just modifies his name to make him the father of many nations. And Haran became the father of Lot. So Haran is Abraham's brother, okay? And so Lot is his nephew. While his father Terah was still alive, Haran died in Ur of the Chaldeans, in the land of his birth. That's what I want you to understand, that Abraham comes out of Chaldea, okay? He died in Ur, which is modern-day Mesopotamia, which was the old country Mesopotamia, and he died in Ur of the Chaldeans in the land of his birth. We don't get to take Abraham and make him whatever nationality we want him to be if we are true to Scripture. The Bible takes away all ambiguity. We don't have to guess. We don't have to research. It is quite clear. Abraham comes out of Chaldea, and in particular, Ur, in the land of his birth.
Did this brother say you don't have to research because it's quite clear about Abraham? It ain't quite clear. Although it's written that he came from Ur of the Chaldees, you must research, okay? Because where nations are placed today, Thomas Dexter Jakes, is not where they were at in the beginning. After the flood, you should know that, and I know you know that. It's your flock, your congregation is clueless, okay? He gonna say if we are true to Scripture, Abraham comes out of Ur of Chaldee, which is ancient Babylon. It's ancient Babylon, okay, which was ruled by the nation of who? Cush, the Cushites. What were the ancient Cushites? Hamites. The modern day Hamites, what are they called? They are called Nilotic Africans, okay? We don't get to make, he said, we don't get to make Abraham whatever nationality we want. Listen, the Bible is clear. Abraham was a Hebrew. I'm in Genesis chapter 14, verse 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew. See, that's his nationality. the Hebrew. Abram the Hebrew, not Abram the Chaldean. Abram the Hebrew, meaning what? He's descendant of Eber. That's what it means. He's descended from Eber. All right, Eber. So it says, is an ancestor of the Israelites and the Ishmaelites, according to the table of nations in the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 10 through chapter 11, and the books of Chronicles, First Chronicles chapter 1. Let's go down regarding name. The Aramaic Hebrew root, Ibar, is connected with crossing over and the beyond. Considering that other names for descendants of Shem also stand for places, Eber can also be considered the name of the area, perhaps near Assyria. Let me jump down to the part. Okay. I'll start here. I'll just keep reading. A number of medieval scholars, such as Michael Assyrian, Bar Hebraeus, and Agapius the historian, mention the prevailing view that the Hebrews had received their name from Eber. I want y'all to look at that. That the Hebrews had received their name from Eber, letting you know that the word Hebrew comes from Eber, while also pointing out that according to others, the name Hebrew meant those who cross, in reference to those who crossed the Euphrates River with Abram from Ur to Haran and then to the land of Canaan. In some translations of the New Testament, he, meaning Eber, is referred to once as Heber, because that's where Hebrew comes from. Luke 3:35, the son of Serug, the son of Reuel, the son of Peleg, the son of Heber, the son of Salah. We're in Genesis chapter 10, verse 6. This is after the flood, the generations of Noah. I'm jumping down to verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim and Phut and Canaan. Let's look at Cush. Let's jump down. Verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, or against the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. Babel is where? That's modern day Iraq, or Ur of the Chaldees, that area. And Echret, and Akkad and Calneh in the land of Shinar. Okay, this is where the sons of Cush was at. Okay, and the modern day Cushites are the Ethiopians. Are they over there in Iraq today? No. So TDJ, stop trying to deceive the people. All right, Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Let's look up Ham, who was one of the sons of Noah. This is after the flood. All right, we're going to look up Ham. Pay close attention. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. Watch this. He, meaning Ham, became the progenitor, meaning forefather. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. So Ham did not become the father of the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. And they give you a scripture, Genesis 10, 6 through 20.
It's important that we understand that. It's important that we understand where Abraham began, because today there's a lot of debate about who is really Israelite and who is really Jew. Well, we got to go back to bloodline.
TDJs, listen, there's no debate. Nobody is debating the Israelites on who the real Israelites are. You know why? Because we can prove we are the one and only real Israelites.